Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to go over some algebra questions where we have variables on both sides of the equal sign. Let me move this a little bit and get it out of the glare. So this is lesson 3 in our chapter. We have gone over simple equations, we've gone over multi-step equations. Now we're going to have variables on both sides of the equal sign, and that is not what we're used to seeing. I don't know how often you saw this last year, but for the most part, you're not used to having an X on both sides of the equal sign, or a Y or a W or whatever. So what that means is we're just going to have one extra step at the beginning to do, and once we get past that one extra step at the beginning, it will eventually look like the questions that you practiced yesterday, the day before, and even into last week. So you still got a checklist. Here's kind of like my mental checklist of what I want to do. Like first thing, anytime I see distributive property, a parentheses where I'm going to distribute, I want to do that first. That's obviously not going to happen in this question. And then number 2, if you can combine like terms, you'll want to do that, but I don't think that is a possibility on this one as well. There's nothing to combine over here. There's nothing to combine over here. And so what we have today is a new step right here that we've never seen before, because we used to go straight down to add and subtract something on both sides, right? Add or subtract whatever's happening to the variable. And then usually step 4 was multiply or divide, but it's usually dividing on our questions anyway. So we've kind of got this step here in the middle that we need to fill in. And that is going to be the new part today. And it's not too bad. It just takes a little while to get the hang of. So honestly, what the problem with this one is, we have a variable here on the right-hand side of the equal sign. And so what I want to do is undo that variable. So I'm going to ask myself, how can I undo 3x's? Right? What's going to help me undo that? Don't fall into this trap. A lot of people see this and they think, oh, it's being subtracted, so I want to do adding. And they want to put adding right here. And then I say, whoa, hold on. Because if you go to do this, and you do that on this side, and then you do it over here, does this actually cancel out? Does this 3 plus 3, that doesn't equal 0. Remember, you want something to cancel out. You want it to equal 0. You don't want to have any x's left on the right-hand side of the equal sign. We want to get all the x's over there on the left, and we want to get all the regular numbers, called constants, over on the right. And so this negative actually goes with the 20. It doesn't have anything to do with the x. The x and the 3 is actually positive, right? And so I don't want to be adding, I want to be subtracting 3x's, because now 3x minus 3x is 0, and now I can cancel it out. I cancel it out because it equals 0. I don't just cancel it out for fun or because that's what my teacher showed me last year, right? I cancel it out because there aren't any more left, right? So my step right here, and this isn't the only way to do it, cancel the variable. I like to pick the variable on the right-hand side. I'm going to just draw an arrow to the right, arrow on variable on the right. It's possible to do it a different way. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I always like to just get rid of the variable on the right-hand side, just because I'm not used to having variables on the right-hand side. And so instead of 3x, I'm going to do minus 3x. That's going to eliminate the variable completely from the right-hand side. I don't have any variables on the right-hand side. And here I can just solve it, 5x minus 3x. And that is 2. Notice, I did not put minus 3x right here. That doesn't make sense, does it? Can you subtract a regular number 18 with something that has an x on it? No, you cannot. Those are not able to be subtracted because they're not like terms. So I'm just going to drop down the rest of this. Let me get my black marker here to show you that it's the same problem, that I just haven't even touched it. The plus 18 is going to drop right down. The equal sign is going to drop right down. This is now 0, so 0 minus 20 is negative 20. And so really that is all I'm doing right here, right? I get rid of the variable, cancel out, use inverse operations to cancel the variable on the right-hand side. And once you get your question to look like this, now you're ready to move on to this step right here, right? Add and subtract something. This looks like, right here, this looks like a question that we did yesterday, last week even. It's something we should be familiar with. So the letter x has multiplying. It's being multiplied by 2. It has adding. And so I'm going to undo the adding or subtracting. Instead of adding 18, I want to do subtracting 18. Whatever you do on one side, you do the same thing on the other side. So this one is the subtraction property of equality. 18 minus 18 is 0. Over here, negative 20 minus 18 is negative 38. And now I can just copy down the rest of it. Equal sign is still here. Over on the left, you have 2 times something equals negative 38. If you know that in your head, excellent. If you don't know that in your head, use your calculator. Instead of multiply by 2, I'm going to divide, right? I'm going to divide by 2. Negative 38 divided by 2, I believe, is negative 19. Okay? So you can see that this is just one extra step up here at the beginning, and once we took care of this, everything from here on down should be familiar to you and something you've done before, right? So you just need to get familiar with how I get these started. So I chose to do minus 3x. I chose to cancel out the variable from the right-hand side. That's not the only way you could have done it. To be honest with you, as long as you cancel out something, you'll be on the right track, right? I honestly could have done like plus 20 here and plus 20 here to get it started. I could have done minus 18 here and minus 18 here. Instead of doing it here in purple, I could have done it way at the beginning. I could have even done minus 5x and minus 5x. I don't personally like that because that ends up with the variable on the right-hand side. But I always just prefer to do it that way. So if you want to do it like me, that's the way you'll do it. Okay, the next one. Now, every once in a while, they'll be a little bit trickier, right? So on this last question, we started here and we did boom, boom, boom. On this question, we're actually going to start up on this area and we're going to go boom, 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 boom. We're going to have 4 steps on this one. Okay, so there's no distributive property. There's no parentheses. Don't have to worry about distributing anything on this one. But do you see how they have too many terms? I don't know if I've used the word terms before, and maybe your teacher last year said it, but I don't know. It's been a long time. A term is a part of an expression that's being added or subtracted. So they're separated by adding and subtracting, not multiplying and dividing. They're separated by adding and subtracting. So you can see here on the right-hand side, we have 3 terms, 3x, 14, and then 8x. On the left-hand side, you've got 2x, you've got 10, and then you've got 5x. All right, so you have 3 terms on the left-hand side. You have 3 terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign. That is too many. You want 2 terms on the left and 2 terms on the right. So what we want to do first is combine like terms. I'm going to abbreviate that. Combine LT for like terms, right? Combine like terms. And so on the left-hand side, what is combinable? Well, these 2 have x's on it, right? 2x plus 5x. Remember, the symbol in front of it, the plus or the minus, is attached to it. So we have 2x plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7x's. The plus 10, I'm just going to drop it down. I didn't have any other just plain old numbers on the left-hand side. Okay, you see how I only focused on the left-hand side. And now I want to only focus on the right-hand side. Over here I have an x and another x. I'm going to combine those. Now this is not 11, is it? This is 3, but then this is minus 8. See how it has the subtracting in front of it? That is a part of the process you really need to pay attention to. This is 3 minus 8, which is negative 5x. And then we just have one regular number. People call that a constant, which is negative 14. Okay, do you see how we did that? We just combined the 2 like terms. Sometimes it'll be the 2 variables. Other times it might be 2 regular numbers, 2 constants, but you just combine those. And now once you do this, now the question looks exactly like this last one, where we have to cancel the variable on the right-hand side. At least that's my opinion. To be honest, you could do plus 14 here and here. You could do minus 10 and minus 10. You could do plus 5x and plus 5x. You could even do minus 7x and minus 7x. As long as you cancel out something with inverse operations, you're going to be okay. But I want to do the variable on the right? The variable on the right-hand side of the equal sign. This one right here. I want to undo that. I'm not used to having variables over there. So instead of minus 5x, I want to do plus 5x. That is going to cancel out on the right-hand side. And so if I've added that to the right-hand side of the problem, I need to add it to the left-hand side of the problem. And look where I put it. I put x's underneath the other x's. I don't put x's over here with the plain old numbers. That's not where it goes. 7 plus 5 is 12 x's. The rest of it, the 10, you can draw these arrows if you want to really demonstrate how you're dropping it down. Negative 5 and positive 5x, you make 0. And so 0 minus 14 is just negative 14. This just kind of drops down over here. And now this question is really coming into focus. Now it should be easy for you, right? Now you're going to add or subtract on both sides. That says subtract. You really can't see it. I went off the edge. Instead of plus 10, I want to do minus 10. All right, minus 10. And negative 14 minus 10, I'm going to run out of room here, is negative 24. And 10 minus 10 is 0. And so we just have 12 times something equals 24, negative 24. And so you can do dividing. The last step would be to divide. Every once in a while it'll be multiply, but on this one it's dividing. Divide it. Oh boy, I'm about to lose my marbles here. And so I'm going to divide by 12 here. You can't see it, but just trust me, it's there. 24, negative 24 divided by 12 is negative 2. Let me get that back up in here. Oh geez, I've got it on something that's kind of round, so it's rolling away. Okay, there you go. That had one extra step. Combine like terms first, then undo the variable on the right-hand side, and then add or subtract, and then multiply or divide. It's usually dividing, at least with the questions that we're doing right now. Okay. Now, in class today, we did one last one. This is the hardest one they can give you, at least for today. There might eventually be harder ones, but okay, this is going to bring it all together. If you can understand this one, you should feel pretty proud of yourself, and you should be pretty confident on the questions today. So this one is going to take 5 steps. 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to distribute. That's where the parentheses come in. Distribute first. Then we're going to combine like terms. Then we're going to undo the variable on the right-hand side. Then we're going to add or subtract. And finally, we'll multiply or divide. It'll probably be dividing. Okay, so this has 5 steps. That's a pretty big jump from what you did last year, right? I don't know how often you did this. So step 1, we want to do distributive property. Distributive property. So I'm going to do 4 times m. Okay, I know what that is. I'm going to do 4 times, this is negative 3 since it's subtracting, 4 times negative 3. And over here, now this is tricky. This isn't just 5, it's negative 5 because it has minus in front of it. Negative 5 times m. And then here it's still negative 5 because it has this minus in front of it. Negative 5 times 2. And that's all I want to do at the beginning. Just distribute. All the rest of this nonsense, the plus 10, just drop it down. Equal sign, drop it down. 26, drop it down. Okay, so now here's my question in purple and in black. Now I want to combine like terms. Look on the left-hand side of my equal sign here. I'm only looking on the left-hand side. I've got an m. I've got a regular number, negative 12. I've got a regular number, positive 10. Those two that I just underlined are both constants. I can combine those. I know what negative 12 plus 10 is. That is negative 2. So this is really 4m minus 2. On the other side, if I take a different color, let me grab blue, you've got regular number 26. You've got a negative 5m, one that has an m on it, and you've got another regular number 10. So this and this minus 10, those are regular numbers, constants. I can do 26 minus 10. That's 16. And then I'm just going to put the minus 5m. And I really hope this works. I may have messed this one up. No, it's not. It's going to be okay. Okay, so step 2, we just completed it. We did combine like terms, right? Combine like terms. Now, step 3, I have too much on the right-hand side. I don't want to have a variable on the right-hand side, right? I'm going to eliminate the variable on the right-hand side, this one right here. I want to undo that. I don't want to have a variable over there. So instead of minus 5m, I want to do plus 5m. I'm going to do the inverse. And if you do that on the right-hand side, you better do it on the left or you're going to get the question wrong. Negative 5 and positive 5m equals 0. I don't know why I'm doing this backwards. I should really start over here. 5 plus 4 is 9m's. The minus 2, I'm going to drop it down. The equal sign is still there. And now it's coming into focus. From here, it should be easy, right? Now I want to add or subtract. That's a plus sign with a little minus sign. I want to do plus 2 and plus 2. In green, that's going to give me 18 equals negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So 9 times something equals 18. Obviously, that's a mental math question for everybody. But just in case you really needed to show your work, very last step, you're going to multiply or divide. And usually it's dividing. At least in these questions today. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Whew, that's a lot of work for one problem, isn't it? We did 5. Whoa, that's not the way I wanted to go. We did 5 different steps. We distributed. We did combine like terms. We did undo the variable on the right-hand side. Then we did add or subtract on both sides. And finally, we did multiply or divide on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video right here. I'm at 15 minutes. I don't want it to get too long. I'm going to assign you guys some questions. They're going to be kind of easier ones, I hope. These are the same ones I gave the algebra kids today in class. So we're going to try our best. We're going to have a Google Meet tomorrow morning. I'm going to send that announcement to you guys. It's either at 9 or 9:30. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. And that way, if you have any questions, you want me to go over this again, you need me to explain it in more detail, I'll be able to do that for you next week. So thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to check the Google Classroom. I will post the questions and I will post this video in the classroom. And feel free to subscribe to my channel so that way, even if you click that little bell, the notification bell, it'll tell you when I go live or when I post videos. That way you can watch it and you can access it quickly. All right, we'll see you guys. Catch you in the Google Meet tomorrow.